Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Aisha. Today we are going to talk about arteries of anterior and medial thigh. Main artery supplying anterior thigh is femoral artery, whereas blood supply to the medial compartment of thigh is by obturator artery. Before starting our discussion on these arteries, I would give you a brief introduction about origin of these arteries. Let's have a look at this diagram. This diagram will tell us how arteries supplying pelvis and lower limbs arise from abdominal aorta. This central vessel, which you can see here, is the abdominal aorta. Abdominal aorta is the largest artery in the abdominal cavity. It is a direct continuation of descending aorta. At the level of fourth lumbar vertebrae, this is fourth lumbar vertebrae. At this level, this abdominal aorta divides into two branches, which are known as common iliac arteries. This part is common iliac artery. Common iliac artery and its branches exist as paired structures, which means one on the left side and another on the right side. This is a paired structure, common iliac artery. This common iliac artery is about 4 cm long in adults and more than a centimeter in diameter. They run inferolaterally along the medial border of psoas muscle. At the level of sacroiliac joint, this is sacrum bone, this is ilium bone. This joint is sacroiliac joint. At this level or opposite to sacroiliac joint, common iliac artery divides into two branches. This outer one is external iliac artery, this is internal iliac artery. This internal iliac artery, it runs downward up to the margin of greater sciatic notch or foramen and divides into two large trunks, which are anterior and posterior divisions of internal iliac artery. These divisions further gives off 9 branches. All these branches of internal iliac artery supplies walls of the pelvis, internal organs of pelvis, gluteal region, reproductive organs and medial compartment of thigh. Obturator artery is also a branch of this internal iliac artery, which we will discuss later on. Coming to the external iliac artery, it is the larger terminal branch of common iliac artery. It is the main source of blood supply to the lower limb, as it continues downward as femoral artery. External iliac artery, before entering into the thigh, gives off two branches. One is inferior epigastric artery and the other one is deep circumflex iliac artery. After giving off these two branches, this external iliac artery, it runs downwards and passes behind the inguinal ligament and enters the thigh as femoral artery. So far we have learned there is an abdominal aorta, which is the main vessel in the abdominal cavity. At the level of fourth lumbar vertebrae, it divides into two main branches, which are known as common iliac arteries. Each common iliac artery opposite to the sacroiliac joint further gives off two branches, external iliac and internal iliac artery. External iliac artery further continue downwards into the thigh as femoral artery. We'll talk about femoral artery in detail. Now let's see what is the origin and course of femoral artery. As I have already told you, femoral artery is the continuation of external iliac artery distal to the inguinal ligament. This is inguinal ligament. This is femoral artery, the one in red color. External iliac artery passes behind this inguinal ligament and enters the thigh at mid-inguinal point. What is mid-inguinal point? This is anterior superior iliac point, pubic symphysis. The midpoint between these two structures is the mid-inguinal point. Femoral artery enters the thigh or femoral triangle at this point. This is femoral triangle. After passing deep to the inguinal ligament, femoral artery enters the femoral triangle. This part of femoral artery is relatively superficial in position. That is why pulsations of the femoral artery can be felt at this site. Femoral artery, after entering the femoral triangle, descends on the adjacent borders of iliopsoas and pectineus muscles that form the floor of femoral triangle. Then it leaves the femoral triangle and enters the adductor canal. This is adductor canal deep to the sartorius muscle. This is sartorius muscle. This is adductor longus muscle. After leaving the femoral triangle, femoral artery enters the adductor canal. At the lower end of adductor canal, at this point, at the junction of middle and lower thirds of thigh, it passes through an opening in the distal aponeurotic attachment of adductor magnus muscle, which is known as adductor hiatus, and becomes continuous with the popliteal artery in the popliteal fossa. There is another image which shows origin and course of femoral artery through femoral triangle and adductor canal. This is femoral triangle. This is femoral artery which enters the femoral triangle by passing behind the inguinal ligament at the mid-inguinal point. In the second image, sartorius muscle has been removed and femoral artery is visible through the adductor canal. This is course of femoral artery through adductor canal. This is adductor hiatus, which is an opening in the distal aponeurotic portion of adductor magnus muscle. Femoral artery then leaves the adductor canal through this hiatus and enters the popliteal fossa as popliteal artery. Now let's talk about relations of femoral artery in femoral triangle. This is an image showing anterior and posterior relations of femoral artery in femoral triangle. Anterior boundary or anterior structures of the femoral artery in this triangle are skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, which is also known as fascia lata of the thigh, and anterior wall of femoral sheath. Structures lying posterior to the femoral artery are psoas muscle, pectineus muscle, and adductor longus muscle. Posterior wall of femoral sheath intervenes between these structures and artery. This is an image of femoral triangle showing medial and lateral relations of the femoral artery. Structure lying medial to the femoral artery in this triangle is femoral vein. Just below the inguinal ligament, the vein is medial to the artery. As you can see here, this is inguinal ligament. Just below this ligament, vein lies medial to the artery. Then the vein gradually crosses to lateral side posterior to the artery. It is directly behind the artery at the apex of femoral triangle and lateral to the lower end of the artery. Then lateral structure to this femoral artery is femoral nerve. This femoral nerve lies lateral to the upper part of the artery. Lower down the artery is related to the branches of nerve, as you can see here. Now let's talk about branches of the femoral artery. Femoral artery gives off 6 branches in the femoral triangle, 3 superficial and 3 deep branches. The first superficial branch arising from the femoral artery is superficial external pudendal artery, this one. This artery supplies skin of external genital organs. The second superficial branch is superficial epigastric artery. This is a superficial epigastric artery. It supplies skin and fascia of lower part of anterior abdominal wall. Then comes superficial circumflex iliac artery. It supplies skin along the iliac crest. The first deep branch which arises from the femoral artery is deep external pudendal artery. This one is deep external pudendal artery. It supplies external genital organs. Then comes profunda femoris artery, which is also known as deep femoral artery. This is profunda femoris artery, main branch of the femoral artery. In addition to these branches, femoral artery also gives muscular branches to muscles of the thigh. Now we will talk about profunda femoris artery, which is the largest branch of femoral artery. It is the chief artery of supply to all the 3 compartments of thigh. It is also known as deep artery of the thigh. This vessel, which you can see here, is profunda femoris artery. It arises from the lateral side of femoral artery about 4 cm below the inguinal ligament. This is origin point of profunda femoris artery, 4 cm below the inguinal ligament. Its origin lies in front of iliacus muscle. As it descends downward, it lies posterior to the femoral vessels. It leaves the femoral triangle by passing deep to adductor longus muscle. It continues downwards by passing between adductor longus and adductor brevis muscle first, and then between adductor longus and adductor magnus muscle. Its terminal part pierces adductor magnus muscle and anastomoses with the upper muscular branches of popliteal artery. Popliteal artery, which is the continuation of femoral artery in the popliteal fossa. That's all about the course of profunda femoris artery. Now let's talk about branches of profunda femoris artery. Profunda femoris artery gives off circumflex femoral arteries, which are lateral and medial circumflex arteries. This is lateral circumflex artery, this is medial circumflex artery. In addition to these circumflex arteries, profunda femoris artery gives rise to 4 perforating branches. 3 of them arise in the anterior compartment of thigh, and the 4th one is termination of the profunda femoris artery itself. We'll talk about circumflex femoral arteries first. This is an image showing circumflex femoral arteries. Circumflex femoral arteries, they encircle the uppermost shaft of femur and anastomose with each other and other arteries supplying the thigh muscles and proximal end of femur. These circumflex arteries are further divided into 2 branches: medial circumflex artery, this one, and the lateral circumflex artery. We'll talk about medial circumflex artery first. It leaves the femoral triangle by passing posteriorly between pectineus and psoas major muscle and enters the gluteal region. In the gluteal region, it gives rise to posterior retinacular arteries. These branches supplies most of the blood to the head and neck of femur. These branches are often torn when the femoral neck is fractured or the hip joint is dislocated. The The medial circumflex femoral artery terminates by dividing into transverse and ascending branches. Transverse branch of medial circumflex femoral artery, it takes part in cruciate anastomosis of thigh, whereas ascending branch joins the inferior gluteal artery. Inferior gluteal artery is the artery of gluteal region, which we will talk about in our next lecture. So, medial circumflex femoral artery, it supplies adductor muscles and head of femur. Now, the lateral circumflex femoral artery, it passes laterally deep to sartorius and rectus femoris muscle between anterior and posterior division of femoral nerve. It is less able to supply blood to femoral head and neck as it passes laterally across the thickest part of joint capsule of hip joint. The main supply to the head and neck of femur is through medial circumflex artery. This lateral circumflex artery divides into three branches: ascending branch, transverse branch and descending branch. Ascending branch of lateral circumflex femoral artery, it runs deep to tensor fascia lata. It gives branches to hip joint, greater trochanter and anastomos with the superior gluteal artery, which is again artery of the gluteal region. Its transverse branch, which you can see here, this is the transverse branch of lateral circumflex femoral artery. It pierces vastus lateralis muscle, winds around the femur and takes part in cruciate anastomosis on the back of thigh, just below the greater trochanter. This branch anastomos with the transverse branch of medial circumflex femoral artery and forms the cruciate anastomosis on the back of the thigh. Then comes the descending branch of lateral circumflex femoral artery. This branch runs down along the anterior border of vastus lateralis muscle and joins the genicular periarticular anastomosis. This genicular periarticular anastomosis is patellar network or anastomosis around knee joint. Now comes perforating branches of profunda femoris arteries. There are four perforating branches of profunda femoris artery: first, second, third and fourth. The first three perforating arteries arise in the anterior compartment of thigh, and the fourth being the terminal branch of profunda femoris artery itself. These perforating arteries, they pierce the distal eponeurotic portion of adductor magnus muscle and medial intermuscular septum to enter the posterior compartment of thigh. They wind round the posterior side of femur, as you can see here, and enters the posterior compartment of thigh. Within the posterior compartment, they typically give rise to muscular branches to hamstring muscles. Muscles of the posterior compartment of thigh are also known as hamstring muscles. I have already told you. In addition to these branches, they also give anastomotic branches that ascends or descend and unite with each other and with the inferior gluteal artery and popliteal artery. Inferior gluteal artery is a branch or artery of the gluteal region. So in this way they forms a continuous anastomotic arterial chain that extends from the gluteal to the popliteal region. This chain supplies blood to the hamstring muscles and to sciatic nerve. After giving off their branches to the posterior compartment, these perforating arteries, they pierce the lateral intermuscular septum to enter the anterior compartment again, where they supply the vastus lateralis muscle. That's all about profunda femoris artery and its branches.